What's up, guys? It's Rob here, and today we're going to be talking about three of my favorite penny stocks, three stocks that are incredibly undervalued compared to what I think they should be trading at regarding the bright futures they have ahead of them in 2022. I think all of these stocks are going to do incredibly well, and some of these catalysts that they have going for them are actually pretty darn close to happening. So let's take a look at the charts first of all and see what the first stock is. It is Sundial, of course. It's probably my favorite stock, the stock that I think is going to be one of the highest runners in 2022, ticker symbol SNDL, and it currently sits with a market cap of $1.28 billion and trades for 62 cents per share. Now, I think this is going to get a whole lot higher. You can already see that on the chart just earlier in 2021, we were trading upwards of $4. If you look all the way back 360 days, you can see that we were actually trading at highs of $4.87, and this is a cannabis stock. So that was actually on cannabis stock hype. A lot of people thought that Sundial was going to be moving a lot higher than that because cannabis was potentially becoming legal after the elections, after Democrats took over the House, Senate, and President's branch. So what's actually going on now is Republicans are pushing cannabis legalization. So it looks like we might actually see cannabis legalization in 2022 after seeing that nearly half of Republican voters support federally decriminalizing cannabis, and GOP lawmakers are finally starting to push a vote to try to reflect their constituents' views. They're trying to support broad legalization of cannabis at the state and federal level. We've seen it in many states, and we're finally seeing it in the federal government. And in fact, the member of the House who proposed this bill, Nancy Mace, a Republican from South Carolina who proposed cannabis legalization in the House, said we need the federal government just to get out of the way. So it's looking like we may see cannabis legalization in 2022, potentially during the midterm elections. We're probably going to see that happen before then to rally support for both parties. Both parties are going to want cannabis voters voting for them. So we're going to see cannabis legalization, is my guess, at some point in 2022, before then most likely. But we'll see what happens. Other than that, there are a bunch of things that Sundial has going for it also. They plan a share repurchase program sometime before November of 2022. November 19th is the deadline when they must repurchase, or when they have the option, rather, to repurchase up to $100 million worth of their stock. Now, they have been a company in the past that has diluted a lot of their shares. In fact, if you look at the past 3 years, you can see they traded for a much higher price in the past. And the reason they are now trading at such a low price is, for the most part, that they have diluted their shares. They have done share offerings to stay afloat. Now they're actually in a position where they have a lot of cash on the balance sheet. They're finally able to do share repurchases to lower the float on this stock and potentially raise the price in the near future. In addition to that, the third thing that Sundial has going for it is a new acquisition that's going to be sometime in early 2022. Their acquisition of Alcana, which is an alcohol brand. In fact, it's Canada's largest private liquor retailer. And this is going to be confirmed on January 7th, when Alcana shareholders will get to vote whether or not they want the acquisition to go through. It's my guess that they will vote yes, because this is a good match for them as well as Sundial, because Alcana is operating 171 liquor locations in Canada under its three retail brands, Wine and Beyond, Liquor Depot, and Ace Liquor, and they'll probably be helping to shore up Sundial's balance sheet. As long as this acquisition goes through, they'll provide some revenue regardless of what happens with cannabis legalization to Sundial stock. So they also have primary ownership interest in Nova Cannabis, which operates 62 stores across Canada. And this will also help Sundial regarding their cannabis operations, right? It will shore up their cannabis operations. They'll have some more stores to put their products in, and they'll have some potential additional cannabis-related revenue and potential expansion access to the United States. They'll have some more experience operating a large number of stores. They'll have new strategies that they can acquire from whatever managers operate those stores. And I think that this will overall be a very beneficial thing for their cannabis brand in Canada and then in the United States when legalization occurs. So that's why I think Sundial stock is going to be doing pretty darn good in 2022. And before I go on to the other two stocks, I want to point out that we currently have about 8,500 subscribers of the channel. If you guys would like more news on any of these stocks, if you want to hear more about penny stocks, then feel free to subscribe to the channel, as I tend to make a video maybe once a week about my favorite penny stocks. So feel free to subscribe. We're trying to get to 9,000 subscribers. Feel free to help out and get us there. It would be much appreciated. So the second company that we're talking about today is Mind Medicine, ticker symbol MNMD. And it currently trades at a market cap of almost 700 million, 698 million to be exact. And this is a psilocybin research company, okay? They specialize in psychedelic-inspired medicines and experiential therapies. And there are some pretty big investors in this company, some big name investors, as well as some good news that they have going for them that actually just came out today. Just 2 hours ago, this was announced that Republican lawmakers in the House and Senate have introduced a new legislation that would make it easier for scientists to research Schedule 1 drugs like cannabis and psilocybin. So that will actually benefit MindMed quite a bit because they currently are one of the biggest researchers in the psilocybin space, and scientists and lawmakers have consistently pointed out that the existing rules for studying Schedule 1 controlled substances are excessively burdensome and limit vital research. So this will overall make the research a lot easier to go about, probably a lot more affordable. And one of their largest investors, Kevin O'Leary, aka Mr. Wonderful, if you don't know who that is, it's this guy over here from Shark Tank. If you've never seen him before, there you go. He is actually a big investor in MindMed, and he tweeted out a while ago, MindMed surpasses Compass Pathways as largest publicly traded psychedelic company, Psychedelic Invest. I speculate that this is happening because MNMD has more clinical trials in their portfolio. In pharma, that matters. So he actually points out that they're the largest psychedelic company that's publicly traded, and that he is a big investor in them. So Kevin O'Leary actually supports MindMed as well as me. Obviously, he has a lot more money to throw at it than I do, but I think that they're probably going to be doing pretty good in 2022. I think that they'll probably be more of a long-term play, though. I think that psilocybin legalization is a ways off. I don't think it's actually around the corner, like I think cannabis legalization might be, but psilocybin legalization is probably something that we will see in the future. We've already seen it in some states, and we're going to see how MindMed fares as they continue with their trials and their experiential therapies. So the third stock that I think is going to be doing pretty darn good in 2022 is Naked Brand Group, ticker symbol NAKD. And I think that it's going to be doing pretty good, not because of the company that they're operating as now, but because of the company that they're about to become. They are not going to be a swimwear company anymore. They currently trade at a market cap of $450 million. That is also about to increase dramatically after this acquisition of Centro Automotive. So they are doing a complete 180. They're completely changing their business. They're acquiring an EV company, and actually a fairly impressive EV company at that. And they are expected to start trading as that EV company on December 30th. So there will be some very important changes going on with NAKD stock, which currently trades at 47 cents on December 30th. They are no longer going to trade at 47 cents. In fact, they're going to consolidate about 15 shares into one share. So every 15 shares you have of them will turn into one, and they'll be trading at 15 times the value, so probably close to $7.50. So NAKD, as it's currently called, they'll still go by that ticker symbol. They'll become Centro Automotive. And Centro Automotive is actually a very impressive early pioneer in artificial intelligence and autonomous driving, and a lead designer of commercial electric vehicles. So they have actually delivered more commercial electric vehicles than any other EV company that's out there, and customers are estimated to have traveled more than 20 million miles in 26 countries in Centro EVs. So it will be a very impressive acquisition on Naked Brand's part. I think that NAKD will probably be doing very well after this acquisition. Their expected revenue for Centro Automotive is $25 million in 2021, and that's expected to grow massively to $506 million in 2022 and $2.1 billion in 2023. So it is a company that has massive growth ahead of them, most likely. Once again, they've delivered more commercial electric vehicles than any other EV company. Now, I will say that potentially we could be looking at some pain for NAKD in the short term as this merger goes through, because other EV companies such as Tesla are actually falling as of late. So Tesla might be bringing down the EV market. Unfortunately, we might see that happen. Tesla has been falling for the past while. Granted, they're finding some support at 900, so we'll see if that ends up going on. But NAKD, unfortunately, could be hurt in the very short term by that. But I think that would only present a better buying opportunity for NAKD stock. I think that if you could get NAKD for these prices, it's a pretty good buy, and Centro Automotive as well. I think that once that merger goes through, it'll be very interesting to see some of the options pricing that we have on them. So once this deal closes, it is notable that the company will have $282 million in cash so they can continue expanding their business. And once again, this transaction is expected to go through, now we know, December 30th, so by the end of 2021. So those are the three companies, the three penny stocks that I think are probably going to be doing pretty darn good in 2022. If you want more, then feel free to subscribe to the channel. And once again, guys, take into account this is not financial advice. I'm not recommending anyone do anything with their money or put any money in any stocks. I'm just giving you guys my opinion on some stocks and letting you know some of the news for them. So if you enjoyed that and appreciate it, feel free to subscribe down below, like the video. And other than that, guys, have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.